Hey guys, this is Andy Gwynn with Selective Cinema. We are at Studio 2215 today, and we've been doing some lighting tests, just testing out lighting ratios, testing out different lighting setups. The whole time we've been shooting on the ARRI Mini LF. Beautiful camera, but rather large sensor. The open gate sensor is pretty big, and if you're using that whole sensor, you need lenses that actually cover it, that won't vignette or even crop into the sensor. And the lenses we've been shooting on the whole time have been these beautiful Leica-R lenses. These are vintage Leica lenses that have been cinematted. They have EF mounts. One of my favorite combinations is the 19mm on open gate with the ARRI Mini LF. Kind of has this tree of life feel to it, but you can get really close with these lenses. The close focus distances are great. The images are still sharp, but still have those vintage characteristics like the flares, the coloring of the flares, the warmth of the lenses, even some of the distortion in them just looks really beautiful. The set includes the 135, 90, 60 macro, 50, 35, 28, 24, and again, the highly sought after 19mm. Probably some of my favorites are the 35, the 50, the 90, and of course, again, like I said, the 19mm. The 19mm, if you're into Leica, you would know there's like a version 1 and version 2. This is the version 2, so it's even a little bit better. A lot of people like this lens for its flare, for its sharpness. But the 35, 50, and 90mm are all Summichrome, which is f2.0. The rest of the set is 2.8. We also have an odd man out, the 80, which is a 1.4 Summilux. Beautiful, beautiful lens as well. It's just a different thread size than the rest of the lenses. These are all kind of a set. This was bought separately, so there's a little bit different. But if you need that 80, it's there. These lenses do have some quirks to them. If you notice, some of the lenses, the gear is actually not exactly in the same spot from the mount. And then you'll notice I have some tape on these, because some of them, even though they've been declicked, some of the lenses, the aperture will kind of float a little bit towards stopping down. So you might look at your image, you're like, oh, it's getting darker. So we just use a piece of gaff tape. I've heard mixed reviews about sending them in to fix that issue. Sometimes it doesn't work. Also, another quirk is some of the focus gears are smoother than others. Some have more friction, some have less. You're really gonna notice that if you're pulling focus by hand, or if you're using like a manual follow focus. Sometimes it's like, oh, it's kind of tough. So just something to be aware of. These do have quirks. They are vintage lenses, 1980s range, and they're not like these modern rehoused lenses. We love using them with the ARRI Mini LF. The fact that they cover the whole image sensor, the fact that they open up to 2.8 and even 2.0 for some of the lenses. Amazing, amazing images that come out of these. We do rent out the whole set, so you can rent the whole set of 8. We do rent out smaller groups of those sets, like 6 or 4, or even if you wanted to rent out one individual lens. I think the one that gets rented out the most is probably the 19. It just has a really cool look. Excited to share with you some of the images we've gotten from even the tests and the next project that we shoot with these beautiful Leica-R lenses.